Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It's Zohran, Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
I'm in San Diego for Comic-Con.
I get excited for you when you go to Comic-Con. Even though I don't understand it and I don't know much of what goes on, I told you when I worked for Extra, it was on my request list because I am fascinated that there's this whole world out there and people get dressed up and they look forward to it every year, and I know nothing about it. And when I went, I walked the floor. I looked at all the costumes. I just think it's such a fascinating experience. You go every year. You probably are over it at this point. Do the Midnight Boys dress up?
No, we don't dress up. I mean,
No fun.
Dressing up, I think dressing up is like a part of Comic-Con that is like, it's a part of the festivities that I think have become like the whole thing for people who are observing Comic-Con. But Comic-Con is much more now to me, because it's actually a comic convention. Like when I go down there, like I buy books and stuff. But it's actually much more now to me of like it's like a industry expose. It's like to me, it's more pop culture exhibitors thing. How can I put it?
So do you feel like it's lost its like authenticity?
No, but it's very, very corporate and like Hollywood. It's a big opportunity for everybody that has something coming out or something on now to just like drum up excitement for it with the people that are going to be supporting it. So it's like, I wouldn't say that it's lost anything, but I will say that like Comic-Con is very meaningful just for the industry now. Movies and TV.
If you did dress up, what would you be? I gotta know.
Here's the thing.
I gotta know.
Here's the thing. You know, it's actually kind of limiting, right? For me, at least.
There's some tall characters.
They're tall characters, but the question is, how many are black? So you got Mace Windu.
Are they race?
You got Blade. Yeah, it's race.
But you could be like Hulk. And there's no race.
Yeah,
to that.
You could be Hulk, but that's a tough costume, right? Like you gotta what do you do? Normally what you see is like if you do Hulk, you gotta put big green stuff on. I guess you could be Hulk. But a lot of the niggas here, when you see them, it's a Blade, Mace Windu world. It's Blade, it's Mace Windu, it's Black Panther. There's not great. Now you could do like anime stuff, but I'm not as deep into that world, right? So you could, I don't know, it's a lot of Blades. There's less Blades than there were before, but it used to be a lot of Blades for the brothers, a lot of Blades.
Petition for you to dress up next year. Like, I feel like this is a lost opportunity for the Midnight Boys.
Also, nobody dresses up for the Midnight Boys.
I'm shocked. Not even Steve? I'm shocked.
You would think
I think Steve would be the one. If I had to pick one, it would be Steve.
A lot of people dress up, but it's not as many people dressing up as you would think. It's not like everybody's dressed up.
Have I told you that when I went, at first I was fascinated and then I got nervous with how many people were in costume because I just was like, there's so many people, so something could happen. You know, everyone's dressed up. I don't know. Like then I just got in my head and it was time to go. It was time to go.
I don't know what it is about me as well that a lot of people in costumes, it fucks with me. I don't know that it should, but I don't feel comfortable with somebody with like fangs next. It's just weird. It's like, but yeah. I think that it is awesome to see Comic-Con because people from all over the world are there and everybody is super excited about that thing that they're into. Some years are bigger than other years, right? Some years are gigantic when big, huge movies are coming out. Some years are a little bit more muted. I think a lot of people this year are wondering what people are going to have to show because we're at Comic-Con right now. Spider-Man comes out next week. The Doomsday trailer dropped earlier. What does Marvel have up their sleeve for the people here at Comic-Con? And the fact also is that DC's not here at all. So there are some things that people are wondering like what this Comic-Con is going to end up being. But also for the nerds here, for a lot of the people that come here, there's also like a big love connection.
I totally see it.
Come to Comic-Con to get their fuck on.
Yeah, the Reddit chat comes to life. The group chat comes to life. I see it. It makes a lot of sense. I actually think it's a fantastic idea. They should do like speed dating or some kind of like love show. You should host this. This would be great.
Love at the Con?
It's the winner.
The carnal con?
And like at the end, they have to take their mask off. Like Netflix kind of had a show like this, but not really. It was like people.
Wait a minute, hold on. So this show is actually even better now. So the show you want to do is like Black Panther is fucking with Jean Grey, and at the end you take your mask off, and then you see who's really under the black. We should do a love show at Comic-Con that's just basically based on how good your costume is. And then at the end of the love talk, you take the costume off and you see who the person is under the costume.
Right. Now, the question is, do they stay in character while they have the costume on? Like, are they Black Panther? Are they, who did you say, Jean Grey? Like, are they these people?
Jean Grey, yeah.
Or are they themselves just with the mask on? I think they have to be themselves. But I love this. Love at the Con. I think they have to be themselves too.
I don't really like when people are actually Spider-Man. Like if I take a picture with you and you got a dope ass Spider-Man costume, yeah, go like that. But then if I say, yo, man, what's going on with you? Say, yeah, I can't wait to get back to New York. Aunt May's all by herself. That's too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
because that's hilarious. See, I'm for that.
That's too much. Like if you actually talk to somebody and they're dressed up as Black Panther and they go, I must protect Wakanda. Nigga, you from Detroit. So like I don't want to don't go too far with it. You know what I'm saying? Like just be regular.
When I was in Italy a few years ago, I'm sure this was a violation. But the hotel I was staying at was there for a few days. So it's a smaller hotel. So you get to know the people who work there. You start talking to them. There was a guy there who would moonlight as Spider-Man. And not just, but he didn't have the red and blue. It was the black version. And he didn't just moonlight like walking on the street and taking pictures. He was actually giving me, I might have one still, Polaroids of him like climbing up light poles or like scaling a building. Like he really committed to it. And when he would talk to me, he would talk as if like by night he really was Spider-Man. I thought about calling the manager, but then I just let it ride.
Right.
I thought about it.
So he would dress up as the symbiote version of Spider-Man.
Yes, and at night would really be
Black
him,
costume.
like really be doing the stunts.
What are you talking about? Like he would jump around
there were pictures of him like hanging off poles or scaling a wall.
Oh, I see.
And they were Polaroids, and he had a signature and everything on them, and he would like pass them out as if like I had the pleasure of meeting Spider-Man.
The actual Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like he was like revealing
here's
who
the thing.
he was.
Things go too far. That's a part of life. Things go too far and people get caught up in it. But I also think that there are people who this weekend at Comic-Con for them is the most them that they get to be.
Yeah.
They get to show their ingenuity. They get to show their enthusiasm. It's the most them they used to be. That's it.
But see, I love that. I think that is so endearing, which is what I wanted to go see at Comic-Con. I told you this. I'm fast. It's like I'm going into somebody else's world. I know nothing about it. There's this whole world that happens that so many people are into, and I'm just on the outside of it. So it's like a moment to peek in, and I like that.
You know what? I got an announcement to make, man.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a lot of stuff on higher learning. There's two things that have happened in my life recently that I want to speak to. Number one is that, I'm sort of becoming disillusioned with everything. I want to express this. I have a deep feeling that all of this is actually bullshit.
What is? Can you be more specific?
Everything.
Existing?
No.
Are you speaking to a certain system, an industry?
No, it's like, the uphill, I don't think we understand the uphill battle that is giving a shit. You wake up in the morning, and if you give a shit, by noon, you're being told that you're not giving a shit in the right way. By 3, you're being told that you're giving a shit about something that's not even real. And by 5, you're being told that there's a whole host of things that are more important than the thing that you give a shit about. The people that are actually winning right now in society don't fucking care about anything. The people that are actually winning, or the things that they care about are so surface level and like kind of insignificant that it's their sports team, or they care about like I don't know. I don't get into, but it's like the deeper I get into all of this stuff, the system, not just our system here culturally and politically, just every system is so fundamentally broken that it almost makes more sense for your personal peace to ignore it.
Okay.
It literally does to me.
2 things. 1, are you jealous of that? Are you jealous
of what?
That there are people who get to do that and can do that can detach, that can not care, that can live in a space where maybe they aren't fixated on some of these issues that you feel burdened by? Are you jealous of that or envious of that?
I am, but only for one reason.
Okay.
I know that my care is kind of synthetic.
Keep going.
I actually do care, but the reason why I care is because of what's wrong with my brain. My ADHD makes me hyper-reactive. It makes me hypersensitive to notions of justice.
Same.
It makes me fixate on people that are like losing battles in society. And so yesterday on Tailgate, someone hit Joel up with all of these symptoms of ADHD, and one of them is a hyperfixation on justice. It's a hyperfixation on fairness. And then there's a reactivity that goes along with that, that sometimes stops me from being able to live outside of the worst thing that's happening to somebody like at the moment, right? And so whereas I've always, I went back and like did this sort of reflection on my life. Like in the 6th grade, I was picking fights and arguments with my classmates. When things started happening for me, I would get emails from people and they would be like, "Hey, do you remember me?" Like, "Hey, man, I do remember you. Yeah, blah, 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 blah." And they would be like, "You haven't changed." So there's something that like, there's something that like literally people I went to Best Buy with, he's like, "Man, do you remember that day that we stood outside of Best Buy and you fucking talked for 3 hours about the Iraq war until they made us leave the parking lot?" It's funny because that day when they made us leave the parking lot, I had done this whole thing about fucking Fallujah and the Iraq war and all of that stuff. And then when I tried to get in my car and leave, I did this walk away and it was all dramatic. And then when I got in my car wouldn't start. I indicted everyone because it was a bunch of George W. Bush fans. You this, and I had somebody had to give me a ride back to my apartment. But I got in the car and my flywheel on the car had the flywheel, so the fucking thing the ignition wouldn't turn. So I got in there and I'm like, fuck. And then they walk over there and say, "Man, let me bring you home, man." Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so it, even then it was like, and that the same thing at TMZ, the same place everywhere. I'm 46. I'm stressing myself out. And everybody is just like, they're living their lives and not being concerned about this shit. I'm telling you guys, the favorite person that you love doesn't give a fuck about you. There are some conversations that I've heard over the past couple of days. No, that's true. Like it's
You mean like a public figure?
It just throughout the whole spectrum. I'm talking about your favorite politician, your favorite person on your favorite show, your favorite thing. They give a fuck about them, and if it benefits you, great. And so I don't know that I'm not indicting anyone and feel like that's different, but it's like, I don't know, man. I want to express this on a podcast because I'm having a moment in my life right now.
I got to be honest with you. I understand. First off, with the symptoms of ADHD, it shows up. Everybody has it. Not everybody, but people who have it have different experiences with it. Particularly if you're a man or a woman. Particularly the environment you grow up in, and also where you are in your life, like your age. It all it impacts you in a different way. But going back to the not caring thing, I don't know if I want to be the person who just doesn't care. It's not even I don't know. I don't want to be that person. Because to me, for you to live in a space of, I just don't care. Like, I don't care about those things. My biggest concern, to use your example, is about my favorite team or what I'm wearing this weekend or a vacation. I don't want to just live in that space, because obviously in order for you to have such a nonchalant or cavalier disposition means that you live in a place of privilege. You are at a level where the things that are happening within our country, outside of it, within these broken systems, don't impact you. You're above it because of your privilege. And I don't know if I want to be so above something where I no longer possess the emotion of feeling what other people who aren't similarly situated feel. I want to feel. And if that's a burden at times, I think I would rather take it than have the place where I'm so detached where I feel nothing. I just don't want to be that person. And so I understand everything that you're saying. And at times, and we've talked about this on the podcast, I do look at some of my friends and I'm like, oh, it must be nice to be, like skipping down the street and posting, your outfit of the day, and I do this too sometimes, or like your food or whatever it may be, and live a life where you just aren't even aware of the things that are going on because you don't have to. I don't want to be that person. I think I'd rather be stressed out and burdened than feel nothing.
Okay. So I get it. Just so Rachel was talking about how ADHD shows up differently for people. I want to let people know what I'm talking about. Justice sensitivity and ADHD is a psychological condition that's an intense physiological, overwhelming emotional response to perceived unfairness, inequality, or broken rules. The ADHD brain processes emotions deeply and struggles with regulation. Witnessing or experiencing injustice can trigger profound frustration, anger, or moral outrage. There's 4 types of sensitivity that ADHD victims are, that people that suffer from it are attuned to victim sensitivity, they say here. It doesn't say victim there. I put that in there. So victim sensitivity, observer sensitivity, beneficiary sensitivity, guilt over an unfair advantage, which I certainly have had, and perpetrator sensitivity, shame over causing harm. And so when I started to look at this, 2 things it started to do when I started to kind of get into this. One, it started to make me think if any of these feelings in me are actually real, or if I've been dealing with something neurological for my entire life that's made me read a bunch of books and hyper fucking fixate on something that when you get to a certain point, people go, man, can we just enjoy the party in peace? I'll give you an example of something though. So I'll give you an example of something of a difference that we have, right?
You and
the
me.
Squatters thing.
Oh yeah.
Me and you. Like the squatters thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't give a fuck about, like, just to revisit it real quick. I don't give a fuck. Like I legitimately don't care about a landlord's right to like charge somebody for a place to live. I don't care. Like every time I pass somebody, like I walk through the thing and I walk up and down the streets here, even in San Diego, and I left here and I see people on the street and I just fucking freeze up and go, why should they have to live like that? Like, well, it blows my mind. I almost can't make it back to the hotel. Now, I don't do shit. There are a bunch of people that would actually do something, right? Like, you know, I get back and I'll help out at a soup kitchen or I'll do all of that stuff, but I do that stuff just to soothe this overwhelming feel of existential dread that pops up in my mind because somebody is walking around on the street with no fucking shoes on, and I think about it all morning. And by the way, if that person goes and like lives in your house and doesn't pay you any rent, I don't care. I really don't fucking care. And so I do think that there is a break when I'm even talking about this, and there's a part of it that I'll be honest with you, I don't think is very healthy. And
for sure,
yeah, and it makes me like hyperfixate and all of that stuff.
That's not
when
healthy.
At the end of the day, there's really no way to like be consistent about it, right? And like you end up picking a bunch of battles that honestly aren't really even yours. They're really not even your battles. You end up like involved in a bunch of shit when you should be playing a video game or writing or doing something else.
Yeah, you can't fix everything. You have to.
Well, I mean, it's not even about fixing it, because like fixing it would be me going, okay, I'm gonna like actually do something to like try to influence this or do something else.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know. So I've just been thinking about like, especially when I got some of this information, I've been thinking about like how much of this is actually real, because you can't. And also nobody, it's difficult for people to see. So it's difficult for people can't, it's like if we have like that squatters argument, what I hear back when I'm going back and forth with people about that is that no, some people should be homeless.
But that's not how
it's just the way
I feel.
That it is.
But like I just
that's not how you.
I just when I go back and forth with you, it's we think about going about it in a different way. That's really what it comes down to.
And that's the thing I'm trying to say. The way I look at that is so drastic that I go, if it's between somebody being homeless and them living in them taking over a spot that you should be charging them for, then yeah, you know. But I don't know. I've just been thinking about that recently, and you know, I think you guys are gonna see it here on the podcast. I think you're gonna see. Oh. No, maybe not you. I'm just gonna chill for a while. I'm just gonna chill. Chill for a while.
So this is why I'm glad you're where you are, because I feel like this is a good escape for you. Just chill, you know, just relax.
Hey, you know, hey, it's new. It's
the
new
voice.
Chill,
the
Van.
voice isn't necessary.
Hey, you know what? Hey, hey Van.
What's your other than the game? What's your creative escape? Like, what's your?
I got all kinds.
What's your? Yeah, like we need to tap into some of this. Like when you start going down this. Yeah,
I got a bunch of. That's not the thing. I got the game. I got big news in my writing. Big news and stuff the big stuff that's happening right now. I got all kinds of stuff. But you know what? Ask me about a world issue. Ask me about something. New Chill Van. Ask me about a world issue. Ask me about something.
Should it be a topic we're supposed to talk about?
Just ask me about something, and you just choose something. Ask me about it.
Okay. What should we do? A world topic. Well, yeah. Trump is saying that we don't need the Strait of Hormuz. How do you feel about that? We don't need it.
I hope it works out. You know, I got a lot of things going on today. I'm playing MLB The Show. Currently, Shohei Ohtani is sitting on 73 homers with about 4 games left to play, and so I'm really concentrating on blasting that last homer to knock Barry Bonds off his perch. Pray for the troops. Pray for everything to work out.
How you feel about that? You know what will make you feel that way though too? To like have these type of response? Shrooms.
Shrooms. Oh, shrooming it up. Ask me something about blacks.
Blacks?
Negroes. Yeah, black Negro Americans.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Bernard's really over here laughing. Bernard is very tapped into what you're saying. What's going on?
Just give me something.
What's
throw something out there. Come on, it's interesting that you can't conjure something right now.
Well, I'm just trying to think make it something like.
I have thoughts. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, because I can't think of anything.
Yeah. So what's going on, man? Like, what's happening with you right now? What's going on? Like, are you to the point where you don't care anymore? Are we negotiating your care? Just throw it out there, Rachel. Throw something out there.
I'm really good at compartmentalizing to the point where it can be a fault, which is why I stay in situations longer than I should. Maybe like I'm quick to overlook things because I'll compartmentalize, because otherwise I will spiral. Like I 100% will fixate on something and I will spiral and I will get very emotional, and I have a temper, which it is over the years I have really honed in. Like, yes, very much so. So I'm really good at just being like, I have to detach and not care about that right now. I talk to myself all the time, and that's honestly the way, and obviously therapy and stuff, I'm able to do it. What's a black issue? What's going on? Bernard said Streamer University.
Oh my God. This is another thing that's really getting me off this. We got to start the show. Another thing that's getting me off this is Bernard.
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 The kids are all into Streamer University.
I asked y'all for a black issue.
It's led by a black man. It's led by a black man.
Streamers University. Man, what's going on to Streamers University? Hey, you know what? Shout out to Streamers University, though, because it seems like it's something good.
I was like, what happened to Calm Van?
Yeah, what happened? Bernard said, what happened to Calm Van? Good job, Bernard. It was all a facade.
Streamers University. Hey, Donnie, hold on. Is Donnie there?
I am. What's up?
Donnie, we're going to have to start like keeping like a tally of Bernard's responses.
Bernardisms is what we're going to call them.
We're going to have to start keeping Bernard. I asked y'all, and Bernard said stream. That's hilarious. See, that's what I wake up in the morning
but
for.
See, that's what Bernard is tapped into. People are worried about what's happening in Iran.
Right,
people are worried about funding being taken away from states, and the Democrats are already talking about how the Republicans are going to interfere with the midterms, and Bernard said, Streamer University.
Streamers University, man. Bernard, that's what I'm going for.
Way to bring it all together, Bernard. That was great.
I'm going for the biggest issue being Streamers University.
That's
what I'm going for. Right.
Black issue.
Black issue. Hey, just go down there and you go to the prisons. You're in the prisons, you're talking to the brothers like, man, how y'all doing? And they go, man, I don't need no help with my bail. I don't need no help to avoid recidivism. What I want to know is about Streamers University. What Kai got going on, man? What the fuck? Fuck Target boycott. All right, let's fucking start talking about this. This will be interesting conversations. People we know involved here. Donnie?
Yeah, ESPN, there were some layoffs this week, most of which reportedly is, or this is from a memo from Chairman Jimmy Pitaro, is related to the company's deal to take over NFL Network. Among those who are being let go by ESPN is longtime commentator Karl Ravage, NFL Network reporter Tom Pelissero, NFL analysts Cam Newton and Ryan Clark. And The Athletic reported that Clark was informed of his being let go while the show, I believe NFL Live was on the air, and he was not present for the closing segment of the program.
Yeah, it looks like they took him off air in real time. It seems that happened.
Yeah, like TMZ had put up a story that said that he was not, because of, it was being reported that he got the news and he didn't come back and, was forced off. And then TMZ reported that he wasn't forced out. And then Ryan actually was like, oh, I wasn't. I got the news. I said, should I continue? Or should I, leave? And they were like, yes, you should go.
Yeah. Feel for him in that regard. When me and Mike had our dust up on TMZ, TMZ Live was being shot.
Mm-hmm.
So TMZ Live was being shot when that happened. And I walked over to him. We had our back and forth. Charles told me to leave, and I never stepped foot back in TMZ ever again.
Mm-hmm.
My last time, on TV. So when people had the video and stuff of it, it was because things were still happening. They were still going, even in the commercial break, like you could see stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in the middle of a broadcast is a unique way to meet your end with the company that you've been with for a long, long time. I tell you what, I did not think, even if there were mass layoffs at ESPN, I did not think that we would see Ryan Clark as being a part of them. I did not. I'll say straight up with no hesitation at all that if Ryan Clark would not have been so outspoken, was not so outspoken about issues relating and regarding Black people, both on air at ESPN and with the things that he does with the pivot and other places, I do not think that he would have lost his job. I do not think so. I know that there are a lot of economic situations that are happening at ESPN. They're paying some of their top level talent enormous sums of money, and there's not always enough to go around. I do also realize that there is a new show that's coming to ESPN with some people, and they probably have to make a little bit of room for that.
What new show?
Well, I mean, like, there's a new football show. The Buzzing with the Boys guys and Josh Pate have a brand new football show.
Oh, okay. Is that under a part of the merger with NFL Network? Because that's, what they're also couching all of this under too, is making room for that.
It might be, but that's college football. So there's a new college football show.
That's college? Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought it was the pro.
Well, I mean, I think this particular show, this just legitimately came out. Let me see here. This just came out. ESPN is launching a new weekly college football show with Josh Pate and Bussin' with the Boys co-host Will Compton and Taylor Lewan. So sources tell Front Office Sports. So there's a lot of new stuff that they probably have to clear up some money to do, all of that type of shit. But I'm telling you right now, the stalwart on that network to me right now, we talked about it with Dave Roberts, the best show on there is the football stuff that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And Ryan is a gigantic part of that with everything that he was able to accomplish in the NFL. And he has become, throughout his time at ESPN, an absolutely sublime football analyst. He is a great mind when it comes to the sport, and he is fantastic on air, one of the best that they have, right? Mm-hmm. And he is also something else. If you look at some of the other names that were involved in this, like, Karl Ravic's been Ravic's been ESPN doing baseball forever.
Like 30 plus years.
But outside of that, like, he doesn't really have any type of cultural footprint. Like, he's not somebody that's like talked about. Ryan Clark is a legitimate celebrity in this space beyond ESPN. But I think he's also a thorn in the network side because oftentimes he challenges a sort of status quo with some of the things that he says. So when they're looking for people to kind of cull in a situation like that, they're going to take some people that aggravate them with how much they care about things that put ESPNs in the crosshairs. Because remember, when you're at your place of employment, when you work there and you say the thing that you say, you talk about the thing that you talk about, the first thing that these people online do when that happens is they say, hey, at ESPN, well, I hate you. They go, hey, at ESPN, is this the kind of guy that you employ? Right. This guy that's talking about this Black shit. So when it's time to do all of this, the first person that has to clear out their locker is somebody that has taken these fights on. Whether you agree or not or whatever, I do think that had Ryan Clark not made the decision to get involved in so many of those issues and talk about so many things like that, that they would not have made him a part of these layoffs. It doesn't make any sense to me from a television business perspective.
Well, it doesn't make any sense from a talent, popularity, television perspective. From a business perspective, it depends on what kind of business are you trying to build. And that, to me, is why I'm not surprised. For all the things that you just said, I'm not shocked that as a part of these layoffs, and I actually think it's strategic. I think with, a lot of people are pointing to what happened last fall with Peter Schrager. I didn't even think that was that big of a deal. That was one incident. But with the NFL network merging with ESPN, this is a perfect way to let go of additional people, because shout out to Stefania Bell, a dear friend of mine who's been at that company for almost 20 years, who was let go. There's a lot of people who've been there for years and years and aren't getting talked about in the same way, obviously, like a Ryan Clark, which again speaks to his popularity. But I just lost my train. I believe that this was a perfect way for them to say, oh, well, we have to clear out space. We have to let go of bigger contracts, to like under the guise of that's why we're doing it, instead of something that feels more personal. There's a couple of things here, which is also why I say I'm not surprised. Within the last year, we've seen on social media Ryan Clark apologize for certain things that either maybe he said on social media that were about a former employee at ESPN, were on air with an employee at ESPN, maybe something that was discussed as a topic on The Pivot. We've seen him I shouldn't say that because that's me assuming it, but we've seen him go to social media and apologize. And I would see a lot of people be like, why does he have to do that? Why does he feel that that's necessary to do when he's just speaking his mind or talking about something he's passionate about, when there are other personalities on ESPN that do the very same thing? When I saw that him continuing to do that, that also marks to me something of, does he feel like that is something he necessarily has to do? Because it's not for The Pivot, it's not for social media. It's a corporate thing that maybe he feels like, oh, he needs to make some sort of comment on it because it's sparking controversy. It's having people, talk about things, going back and forth in his comments. Outkick, he was a favorite topic of Outkick, and they constantly, anytime he'd said something that was they felt was off the beaten path, or had to do with politics, or had to do with race, or had to do with social issues, they always were calling for, I won't say for him to be let go, but also calling out, kind of like you say what people do on social media, trolls do, hey, at ESPN, look at what your talent is doing. He was always a topic of conversation with that. I also think that with The Pivot, he became even bigger. I mean, he's been at ESPN for almost 10 years, if not more. And as he started to build his platform outside of it, corporations don't like that. Like, they want you to be known for what they are and not as something even bigger. Like, even as big as Stephen A is, he is still ESPN. He is still tied to that more than like Ryan was becoming this big, and has become this big cultural and important voice outside of ESPN on his own platform. I don't think corporations like that either. I think that they feel threatened by that. But that aside, that's why I'm not surprised from a business perspective. From a talent perspective, of course, it makes no sense. This is somebody who's been nominated multiple times for Emmys, has won Emmys, is a staple when it comes to morning programs, afternoon programs, and then doing Monday Night Football. He was continuing to rise. It's almost going to be weird to even watch ESPN and not see his presence there. It's why we're still talking about it, because so many people are now saying, well, I feel no need to watch. Dave Roberts was just here. Dave Roberts was saying how people watch these programs now for a personality. People were watching particularly for Ryan. They will follow Ryan, whatever he decides to do next, and continue to follow him on The Pivot. But the last thing I'll say on the business perspective of it is, when you look at the leadership change at ESPN as well, it feels like whoever was, it's like coaching. You're that person's guy. You're that person's, if you're a coach underneath the head coach, you're under their tree. The same thing works on a network like this. And I feel like the person who might have been his cheerleader, his champion, all of that was changed. Back when, who was there when first? Skipper. When John Skipper was there, I feel like the structure was more decentralized. And now that Pitaro is there, and they've let go of Dave Roberts is retiring, and like a Stephanie Drewley who used to be there, who's no longer there. She left in 2024. It became more of a power-centered structure where if they're not rooting for you, if you're not their guy, then you're on the chopping block. And I also feel like that's something, I don't know this for a fact, but when I look at how the power structure has changed at ESPN and the way they run things and the way they've moved people like a Norby and a Stephanie and a Dave Roberts are no longer a part of the company, I feel like whoever is leading it is not a fan of Ryan. And there's already been reports of the number 2 guy allegedly leaked it to Outkick. And that's its own conversation right there. I just talked about Outkick and how they cover Ryan Clark, the fact that that was leaked allegedly, or it's being reported to Outkick, well, what's your purpose in doing that? What kind of story like this? What kind of narrative, is the best way I can say it, what kind of narrative are you creating if that is in fact true? So yeah, I think there's a lot of things at play here, but all that to say, I'm not surprised, but it is disappointing and very unfair and unprofessional how they handled it.
So this is what I'll say. Number one, the fact that it was leaked to Outkick, I have no problem with. When I say I have no problem with, I vehemently disagree with, but I have no problem with Outkick's coverage of any of the people that are talking or doing whatever that they're doing. No problem with it. No problem with it. The problem with that I have is from a substantive standpoint. But the fact that there is a right-wing place that is criticizing things that they don't agree with politically or culturally, I have no issue with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
What we are essentially a left of center place, a left of left place that criticizes those same things.
Sure.
I think those types of dialogues are healthy. But I'll tell you one thing, though. Somebody being inside of ESPN and leaking it to Outkick, a place that has been directly critical of Ryan Clark, tells me that they were trying to hurt him. And that transcends anything that has to do with business. That's a decision made not to leak it to Front Office Sports, which I just cited, not to leak it to Page Six, not to leak it to any of those places. It's a decision made to give somebody a head start to spin a narrative on him, a place that has been outwardly critical of him. The reasons why they are critical might be cultural or political or whatever, but that is a decision made to hurt him. And I'll say something else. This is not in a vacuum. This is along the same lines of people like Jamel Hill and Bomani Jones and other people who have existed at ESPN and had a certain social, cultural, political standpoint and stance, and the way that they were treated when they got a little bit outside of the box there. A lot of the top level talent there that was seeking to recontextualize political conversations as they relate to sports got treated like ass at that company. And that's a fucking fact. And the thing that I'm talking about is the fact that when we look anywhere across the fucking spectrum, if you are a Black person and you exist at a place like ESPN and you start to pull on the thread of your Blackness too much, they sometimes have a way of reorienting what the expectation, not just of the audience, but also of the talent is. And the way that you do that is by creating a chilling effect around that. People can't help but think about their mortgage payments, where they're going to go and what they're going to do before they say something. And I'm not about to say that this is just something that exists on this side of it. There is a side of this that has happened, like in all political discussion. Well, I see it happen all the time. I see it happen with people who are quote unquote woke or whatever. Somebody gives a take that they don't like, they run to your employer. Is this what you're employing? I get it. I understand it. Sometimes, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to defend people calling people niggas and all of that type of shit like that and being virulently racist. I'm not going to defend all of that stuff. But I do think if I bring it back to this specific incident right here, what happened to Ryan Clark? This is the type of shit that I'm talking about. You work at a corporate place, you get to a specific spot, you talk your shit, you want to say what you feel like you're compelled to say something or do something because it's in the interest of a people that you care about. And then there's a way that structures like this just come along and say, you can't do that. They don't have to say, shut up and dribble. They don't. They can just take your microphone.
Yeah.
Like when she said, shut up and dribble, she was talking to LeBron James. That's LeBron James. That's the whole ball of wax. He's going to be able to make that decision. But see, everybody else, they can just take you off the air. And then they can put you in the ether and make you find out how you're going to get it out the mud, which, by the way, there's enough talent now. And I've said this to so many people, I'm just going to say it publicly. There's enough talent now that used to be ex-ESPN for them to go out and get some VC money and see what they could really do, because it really might be exciting if they did that, right? It might be exciting if that was a thing. That is incredibly hard to do.
Yeah.
And really, in our space, there's only like one guy really doing it at a huge level, and it's Roland Martin, who has built a network, a thriving one that is rivaling some of these other right-wing networks. So like, love Roland, hate Roland, agree with Roland, don't agree with Roland. He's a boss down there doing this thing, and you have to fucking respect that, right? But like what I'll say, just to tie all of this up, is the group of people that were let go in this situation. There was one guy of all of these people that had all of these things to me. One is a long, long time at ESPN. Two, somebody who's in their professional zenith right now, legitimately at the peak of what it is that they're doing professionally. And then three, also is a voice on the show that has a lot of credibility with the individual sports fan that watches the show. This is not me comparing or talking about anybody else and saying that they, like, I'm not saying that anyone was a natural or understandable candidate to lose their job. I'm not saying that at all. But the reason why it was news that he was let go is because he was in a specific position at ESPN in relevance, in FaceTime, and with tenure with the company. And it's like, whoa. And I don't think that was just business.
Well,
I don't think that it was business.
I think
that was something that was done to get him out of there. I think he was annoying people with how vehemently he was talking about these issues.
The new powers that be, he was annoying. And that is why, for everything that you just spelled out, all the things that he is and represents, it's why it has nothing to do with the merger. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with something else. And all the other reporting that's coming out about it, trying to tie it to one specific incident, that it happened while he was on air, that it was leaked to an Outkick, who it was allegedly leaked by. It's all pieces to the puzzle of somebody did not want him to be there, or somebody's did not want him to be there.
I'm good, man. All right, before we get to the next thing, I want to say something real quick. I've been drinking all the water I drink now, Rachel, is basically hot.
You mean room temperature?
No.
Is there a benefit?
I'm like, it's been benefiting me in one specific way. Like I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Been going crazy.
Just hot water? Like not hot water with lemon or anything like that?
Nah, man. Now this is getting less hot because I put it in this. Oh, shout out to the people over here at the Content Factory Studio, San Diego. Shout out to Raymond right now, who's over there on the ones and twos for us. Raymond's a DJ here in San Diego. Shout out to Raymond. Nice. Raymond, what's your Instagram? Radio Raymond T. Follow at Radio Raymond T. If you get a chance. Shout out to Raymond. He got me hooked up today. Oh, I want to say something else before we get to it. I had a second announcement.
Hope it says important as hot water. I had to.
No, it's fine.
What's the second announcement?
It's what you do. Stuff. The second announcement is I'm officially not fat anymore.
Van, congratulations.
I've hit a specific weight.
So you've hit your goal.
No, no, that's not true. So I had, boom, 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 different categories. So these were the categories. Nigga, you fat. Okay, was the first one. And then the second was, hey, bro, you doing a little bit better. The third one was, hey, nigga, don't fool yourself. You still fat. The fourth one was, you're not fat anymore, but damn, you sloppy. That's where I'm at now.
These feel like they're getting worse. These titles are getting worse, man.
But it's not, but you gotta, okay. And then the last one is, you're in shape, and then you're in great shape. So I'm not fat anymore. Still sloppy though. I can tighten up. Not fat anymore, but I'm about 10 pounds and a little bit of muscle away from being in shape. Then after that, I'll be back in shape.
I
but
can
I'm moving.
definitely tell that you're like doing your thing. It's when I see you outside of the podcast, because like we podcast, we sit here, whatever. But then when I see you like out in the wild, I'll be like, and I'll see you from a distance. I'm like, look at Van. I can tell like you're really putting in work and doing your thing. So good for you.
Another reason why you can't tell is because like when we're doing higher learning, for you, every angle is great. It's rage time. For me, the angles that make the clips is let's make Van look like Sherman Klump at every chance that we can get. We're just not shooting me in a way that is like, it is what it is.
Can I be honest? I think it's the chairs. I'm trying to look right now. I think it's the chairs. I think because of your height and the way these chairs are, they don't put you in the best position. That's really what it is. Like it causes you to kind of have to slump because of the mic to chair ratio. That's not an indictment on you, by the way. I'm full of compliments right now.
Donnie, what's the next thing? Sports, before we get out of sports.
Yeah, let's stick to sports. The Miami Heat posted a link to a scheduled live stream titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference, followed by the date July 27th to its YouTube channel. The team spokesman spoke out and said that it was a mistake. That spokesperson told ESPN's Shams Charania on Tuesday that the club's social media department was preparing for the possibility of his signing and mistakenly posted the link to the team's YouTube page and later deleted it. You believe that?
Incredible.
So Bron's going to the Heat.
It's incredible. That's incredible, man. Just this whole thing, this whole LeBron shit has just been fucking incredible, man. Just what a bunch of bullshit this entire thing has been.
Oh wow. Let's keep going. Say more.
I feel like I can't. Okay.
Why is
I feel like I can't.
Which part of it has been the bullshit to you?
This whole thing is bullshit. This entire thing is bullshit, right?
Because we know where he's going.
No, it's not because we know where he's going. Well, do you remember the end of John Wick?
Which one?
Do you remember the end of so the first John Wick, where John Wick is talking and he's talking to Vigo, and he was like, my wife died, and she got me this dog. Some semblance of reality, of good feeling, of hope. Mm-hmm. Your son took that from me. Mm-hmm. Your son robbed that from me. You can tell me where he is, or you can die screaming next to him. And then they put the plastic thing over it. Sometimes I feel like my ability to talk about this has been took from me and robbed from me because I just gotta be honest with you. We have colleagues at the Ringer now who are kind of running this. And so it's like, I like those guys.
Which way? Running the conversation?
They're his agents. Yeah.
Well, I know
and I like those guys. They're good to work with. They're cool. And LeBron is cool. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for LeBron James and his entire career, what he's done, particularly the fact that he has never shied away from off the court talking about issues that are really important. I still think we don't talk about the I Promise School enough and what it actually means and what the school did. I think it's fucking fantastic, all of this stuff. I think LeBron James is phenomenal. I also would just like to say that I think it's a real ding to LeBron James's legacy that he has taken us through this fucking circus, holding up the actual schedule of the NBA at 42 years old, basically, with picking this team. Like, this entire thing reeks of some of the most unforgivable vanity that I've seen with anything. The decision made sense. I think he's overhated for that. The decision made sense. LeBron James didn't get to go. Well, he didn't get to go. He never went to college. So he was drafted into the NBA. He didn't get a chance to get recruited. For everybody to show people just how much they want LeBron James. I'm sure the shoe companies did it. I'm sure companies are coming to LeBron James at all times going, hey, LeBron, we want you and all of that stuff. So somebody's always trying to sweet talk LeBron. But it's all for him to go around and get all of those pitches and stuff like that. I felt like his station in the league and who he had been denoted that. Right now, this don't. LeBron James is no longer a player that you're going to put on your team and him be the best team and go get you a championship. LeBron James can't be the best player on the team that's going to make a deep playoff run. He is still, do not get me wrong, a fantastic NBA player, but he is not the type of NBA player right now that all of this should be about. Like, it's when you are going to do your farewell type shit, what you should do, hey, this is my last year, then let everybody love on you and tell you how much they love you and stuff like this. This right here, this shit is kind of whack. Fucking pick the team so we can move on and do our fucking thing and enjoy the whole deal, man. I don't get this.
Wow. To me, I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm not at all shocked that this is dragging on. I'm not at all shocked. When I saw this, I was like, of course, like that stories are being created around it, that there's dramatics with it, that the conversation is, where will he go? Who will he play with? What kind of impact will he have? Will he be the same? Will being on a new team, like the Lakers weren't that. Like, will he be better? Will he have this resurgence on a new team? I'm not shocked at all. I think that that's part of what comes with the LeBron package. So the fact that this is where we are, you really thought that he was going to leave the Lakers and it was going to be like, and now I'm going to this team. Just like that. No, this is what comes with the LeBron of it all. And to your point, if he's not going to go to a team where he's going to be the best player, then what he will be is the most culturally relevant. So what comes with that? The dramatics and the story and the buildup and the excitement and keeping people on the edge of their seat and making him a topic of conversation. Because if that is what he is, more than, using your point, than being the best player, then this goes in line with it.
But that's not what's happening right now. People are annoyed with this.
Are they?
The decision, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I talk to all the relevant NBA people, follow all the relevant NBA YouTubers and stuff like that. This is getting annoying. Like, the decision was one of those things, when we talk about the decision, obviously maybe the primetime fucking special, maybe you look back as a blemish, but all of that stuff, that's cool. I mean, he's earned the right to go out however he wants to go out with, with every team that he wants to go out with. But this right here is just straight up annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. Okay? And it is. All right?
It may be.
And I'm not the only person that feels like that.
I don't think you are.
So much. He's got so much goodwill with everyone, earned goodwill, that it is, but it's incredible. Now this stuff, I think this could even be subterfuge. Like this, I don't even know what to believe. This, yeah, man, just, come on now. God damn it.
I just think it's a changing of the narrative. It wasn't great. The ending of leaving the Lakers was not great. That's not the energy and the conversation you want going to wherever it's next. And I just think that that's what they're trying to do. I don't even really pay attention. I'm just like, let me know when he decides where he's going. And then we can evaluate from there.
Yeah. Well, what team do you want him to go to?
I think Miami's fun. Because what are they saying? What are they saying right now? Cavs, Sixers, and Miami? Is Chicago in there? No.
Maybe the Golden State's in there. Chicago.
Oh, I thought, I remember Golden State at the beginning. But
no, there was some real Golden State smoke to where people thought that was heating up.
I like Miami.
You like Miami?
Yeah.
I think that would be an interesting place for him to go at this point. I think that would be like I don't understand why that would happen.
You do understand?
I do not.
Oh, you do not understand. Well, where do you want him to go?
The Warriors. Just want him to go to the Warriors. Just go to the Warriors. Go to the Warriors. It's there. It's right there close to home. It's an hour away on a plane. And they like end up being put all the old guys together and see what they can do. But to me, personally, it's just I don't know. Just the whole fucking thing is like it's fucking. At this point,
just detach.
He's your third best guy. If he goes to Miami, I guess not. Oh, maybe.
So you're putting Bam over him?
Is Bam? I don't know. I don't think that's right. I don't think that Bam Adebayo is better than you.
I don't think so either.
You got Giannis, right? So they got Giannis, they got Bam. I don't think right now that is Bam Adebayo better than LeBron James. I don't think that Bam Adebayo is better than LeBron James. I don't think that he is. I think LeBron James probably will be better. Your favorite guy's talking. Your favorite dude, Mamdani. You love him.
He said this week that the New York City would not be able to execute an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court for Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu. But in a speech, he urged the federal government to do so. Let's hear from the mayor.
As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave, they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
He's a good politician, like good at being a politician. He really is. You can't, this is simple for me. I don't really have much to say other than he knows what he ran on. He knows what he promised New Yorkers, and he now knows that he cannot act on that promise. He now knows that legally he does not have the authority to arrest him. And rather than a headline running away with, something like Mamdani, fails on campaign promise, or Mamdani is like backing down or something, he takes control of the narrative and says he can't, he's not allowed to, but you know who is? The federal government. And you know who should be doing something? The federal government. And he shifts the blame and the responsibility to the federal government and says he's still staunchly against it. We should protest against it. He's not welcome here. But legally, he can't do the things that he wants to do. But if he could, he would. He's good. Yeah. He's good.
Yeah, he's good. And he's definitely good. But you should, I need to call a couple of balls and strikes here. That the next time that somebody, and I wish that we had a media at the top levels of it that was interested in knowing things rather than performing for whomever their funders are. Because then the question to ask Mayor Mamdani is, was he mistaken when he pledged to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu? Did he not know that he could not do that?
I think it's the latter.
Was he just whipping people up?
I don't think he knew he could do it.
So then why the fuck are you saying it? Don't do that. And that's a problem I have with politicians. Like, it is I think two things about this. It's masterful political theater, like you're saying, knowing that you can't do that, or maybe you don't even want to, right? How do I know? I don't know. And I don't know what's in the guy's heart. And so you use your political superpower, which is the ability to address people. And we just got to say it. He's the best since Obama. And he's creeping up on the level of being able to communicate with people in that way. But my question always is, when I see something like this, is did you actually think that you could do that and now you're learning that you can't? Or did you always know that you couldn't do that and you were saying that to get the kids on your side and to whip up the sentiment and to have that be a part of whatever your platform is? Because when politicians do that, I don't like it, no matter how much I like them. I don't like just saying shit that you know that you can't really get done and then giving a very impassionate walking back of that thing once you've got the power that you wanted. I'm not into that. Like, I feel like some years ago when, people, and you know what? I indict myself over this because when we were talking about how important it was to vote for Warnock and vote for Ossoff to get the 50-50 tie with Kamala Harris breaking the tie as a vice president or president of the Senate, like, we did not inform we did not inform our audience of the reality of the filibuster in that regard. We, in talking about that over and over again, talked about how important it was to get the majority, the slim majority in the Senate, and then we would get voting rights and we would get the Justice and Policing Act. But I'm gonna speak for myself. I did not come back and say, hey, there's more votes that are needed here, or else you're going to need to destroy the filibuster. We also didn't talk about the fact that there were rogue agents inside of the Democratic Party and Sinema and a Manchin that wouldn't even vote for it. Like, so, but I say all that to say that promise, though, as it was made to people, was a little disingenuous in a way. Like, we know more about the filibuster and the rules inside the Senate than we ever did.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, outside of anything that's budgetary, you need 60 votes or whatever to get that done, or else you got to kill the filibuster. So I do think that there were other places that did a better job in sort of laying that out for people than I did. But back to the original thing was that, like, the promise in and of itself and the way that was framed in a lot of ways was disingenuous. And so I think that it's fair to hold Mayor Mamdani accountable for the fact that a lot of people got into this specific thing, and then it turned out that he couldn't even do it. So
I disagree with you.
Okay, go for it.
I disagree in the sense that I don't think that statement of him saying that he would arrest Netanyahu if he became the mayor of the city is the overarching reason as to why people voted for him. And
I never said that.
Well, no, I'm not done. But you're talking about, like, the younger people. It was a talking point. It got the younger people excited. And so I'm saying that I don't think that was a main reason as to why people voted. I think what was important was, and this is why I disagree, is the sentiment, which hasn't changed. He would arrest him if he could. And the sentiment is he believes he's a war criminal under ICC. He believes that war criminals on either side, because he's spoken about, Hamas leaders too. He believes that any war criminal that is somebody who's been designated a war criminal should be arrested. And so the sentiment is still there. I still think he goes with his pro-Palestine beliefs. And to me, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't see it as big of a deal that he can't, because to me, the sentiment he was trying to express is still there. He's not taking anything back.
This disagreement is fundamental. It's a fundamental disagreement. I'm glad we get to talk about it surrounding this story. First of all, just for clarity's sake, I do not think that there's anybody that went out and voted for Mayor Mamdani because they wanted Benjamin Netanyahu arrested. I did not mean to say that. If I intimated that was the reason why I think people voted for Mayor Mamdani, I do not. I think they voted for Mayor Mamdani because of, number one, because of Mayor Mamdani. I think because of the way he was able to communicate, and sort of distill his vision to people, I think that they really, really responded to him more than anything other than that. Also, the affordability promise, some of the pledges, the way he recentered the needs of everyday and average New Yorkers is why he is the mayor. Okay. Now, I will say this, though. What I am saying, to get back to it, is that he was asked by the New York Times, a bunch of different places, are you serious about arresting Benjamin Netanyahu when he comes to New York City? Are you serious about that? And he has said, that is something I intend to fulfill. He had said earlier in the mayor's race that he would arrest Netanyahu. He was interviewed by the New York Times. He says, that's something I intend to fulfill. There is a greater conversation to me about the way politicians and political figures position themselves in order to gain support for people about shit that they really can't do, or things that don't line up with the political reality that we live in. And what I am saying is, all the stuff that he could promise, that he could do, right? Or even the stuff that was going to be hard. It's fair to say that he was bullshitting here.
Well,
it's fair to say and if let's say that he wasn't bullshitting. Let's say that he didn't.
What if one lawyer told him, yeah, it's possible. Like we actually don't know. I'm assuming that he just maybe didn't have those conversations, which is wrong.
Okay, the only problem with that is I'm reading this article that I read from the New York Times in order to get ready for this. They lay out the fact that there were already people then telling him he couldn't do that. So unless he didn't read, real quick, unless he didn't read the New York Times article that he himself sat down for after it was out, which is very unlikely, that there were already people saying, hey, that's not going to be a possibility. Saying that I would love to arrest Netanyahu, saying that I would want to arrest Netanyahu, saying that arresting Netanyahu is something that should happen, but directly saying I'm going to have the NYPD arrest Benjamin Netanyahu when he comes here. As much as I love Mayor Mamdani, and my love for Mayor Mamdani is still what it is, I do not like when politicians do this, because personally, I think this leads into some of the bullshit and the disappointment on the backside. On this issue, that's not going to happen because, to your point, this is not a fundamental issue with Mayor Mamdani's mayorship in New York. It's not a fundamental issue. It's not. But then there are times when dealing with politicians that they do whip people up, do overpromise on issues that are fundamental, and then they rely on how much we like them on the back end as to how much we hold them accountable for the shit that they said that they were going to do that they knew they couldn't do.
You're not wrong. The New York Times article, which obviously I saw, but from my understanding, when did that come? Did that come out in 2024, or did that come out more recently? Because I might be wrong on this part.
This article is from September 12th, 2025.
Okay. And since 2025, I thought he made those comments in 2024. Like, I'm literally looking at a 2024 comment. I thought December 2024, that was his original pledge of when he made that comment about arresting him if he's mayor. I did not see, and this could be my fault, that post the New York Times article that he continued to say that he would arrest him.
What difference does that make?
Because to the point of, you said in the New York Times article, there were people telling him, so I'm assuming around the time the article came out in 2025, which is why I was asking you, in 2025, that he can't do that. So I'm saying the original statement was made in 2024. Were those people telling him then? Did they tell him around the time this article came out? And then my question is, was he continuing to say it after September 2025? That's the part I don't know. And so then I'm saying, to your point, you're right. When this article came out with the New York Times, and then he knowing now that people were telling him you can't do that, and he continued up until July 2026, then I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to get the timeline right.
So let me ask you a question, and this will be the last thing I have to say. Are politicians and political candidates responsible for knowing what they can and cannot do?
I'm not disagreeing with you. Of course.
So then why would it even take somebody? So
I'm just speaking to the one point that you made of once people were telling, you're right, he should have known from December 2024 when he said it at first. But you made the point that the New York Times article, which you pointed out you read in preparation, which I understand, I did as well. I'm having a gap in between what I don't know the question, and that's what I was asking is, when that article came out, they were saying people were telling him, which I'm assuming around that time, 2025, you can't do it. Did he after still continue despite that? Because that's what I thought the point you were making was to say, I'm still going to arrest him, knowing now he couldn't.
So my point was this. That was an aside.
Okay.
That was, in this article, at least there are people that are laying it out and saying that you can't do it, right?
Yes.
I don't know if he was asked again. Maybe this is the first time
that
he's addressed it. But beyond that, though, I'm not doing any work on his behalf because he should have known. Like,
and you were right.
He should have known that.
You're right.
Like he should have known that that's something that I cannot do. So what I look at that video as is I'm looking at that video as a really incredible a piece of political theater. That is essentially him addressing a campaign promise that nobody asked him to make, and that now he can't deliver on. I'm just being for real.
No.
That nobody
I'm not disagreeing with you on this.
That nobody asked him to make, and now he can deliver on. And just at the point that I'm at right now, as much as I fuck with him, and I fuck with him the long way, and as much as he struck the right chord in what he was talking about, I would just like to initiate some type of at least rhetorical consequence just so they stop doing that shit.
You're not
wrong.
Like,
just so they stop doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the only thing that I was saying. There's nothing.
You are right. We're in a space where we are demanding more from our politicians, and that includes the very point that you are making here with don't make a promise that you have not fully researched, and maybe you thought it out, but you didn't research it out if you even had the power to do such a thing. You're not wrong with that. And maybe what I'm doing is what we do too often as, people who like a politician of, well, because that's what I was thinking too in my head was, well, if he had completely changed his mind on Netanyahu or how he feels about war criminals or even the fact of him welcoming him into the city and, he's standing there with a handshake, that to me would be the thing that is just like so incredibly opposite from what you said on the trail. And I shouldn't do that just because he's a politician that I like. You are correct. That shouldn't be, we shouldn't excuse that. We should hold them accountable for the promises they make. I get you.
Yeah.
I think he did it in an irresponsible way.
Yeah, I don't know that he was, I just would, I get it. You got to say some stuff. You got to do whatever, man. I don't want to be
But he's good in the way
he
came out with the video. Like I said at the beginning.
Yeah, the video was great. And
he's a good politician.
But at the same time.
No, I mean, to your point, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Netanyahu's coming to your city, and Netanyahu going to go, Netanyahu now is going to go to fucking New York. He going to go to McDonald's, and he going to be like, look, bitch, I'm at your shit. There's nothing you can do. Because there's nothing that he could have done in the first place. The rules about how and why people are arrested from warrants from the ICC, it's almost completely at the discretion of the actual country that the person that has a warrant on them is under. 2024, Mongolia hosted Putin. They didn't detain him or anything. There's an ICC warrant against Putin. So there's all of that stuff from the beginning was just like whipping people up and talking. But it's the only reason why it's even a deal, it's not that big of a deal, is it's something that I just want everybody to remember that these people are politicians, and it is up to you to call out their inconsistencies and things that they said that they're going to do and they're not going to do, and you do not have to just make a ton of excuses for them just because you like them.
Sure.
And I just think we're getting into that a little bit, even with Mayor Mamdani. I like him; he's doing a great fucking job, but This was an unforced error to me that didn't need to. That didn't need.
He never
happen.
had to do it in the beginning. Yeah. Well, I do hope Netanyahu has a lettuce-filled meal sprinkled with garlic powder when he comes.
You want him to get the runs.
Yeah.
But then if that happens, he's just gonna lose weight, and then people gonna be like, look how good Netanyahu looks.
He'll be inside. He'll be inside though. He won't be parading around. Mm-hmm.
He'll be inside. He'll definitely be inside. I want to have a conversation about a video that I watched that I shouldn't have watched. And I want to have a conversation about how the UAE is, in the middle of what's going on right now in the Gulf. And we've talked a lot about the Gulf countries and the UAE and stuff like that. But the UAE also is backing and funding a genocide in Sudan. Backing and funding a genocide in Sudan. The UAE is. I've talked to people about the situation. I think a lot of this in Sudan is being framed as a civil war, but there's something that's happening there. And it's happening, although there are official denials from the government there in the UAE. All of the evidence points to the fact that they are directly complicit in the brutality and the tremendous and dramatic loss of life that is occurring in Sudan. The UAE. I don't know if people know that. Saw that? Interested in that? I was watching Democracy Now! This lady did a documentary. She talked about it. And then I went and perused a little bit of what I could peruse and learn more about it. And I wasn't up on that as much as I should have been. And maybe we should talk about that later. Maybe there's somebody that can come on and discuss that with us.
Maybe her. Maybe the woman in the documentary.
Yeah. Well, what else we got? What else we got to fucking talk about? I'm fucking pissed off.
Let's talk about the Trump administration and Medicaid. They are pausing more than $1 billion in Medicaid payments to California and Minnesota over alleged fraud concerns. This marks the second time that Trump has targeted the two states for alleged Medicaid fraud.
I mean, I don't even want to talk about it.
Man, look, it was it's a topic.
It's a topic. It's a topic, but it's like the same stuff over and over again, right? And it's just further showing that Trump will weaponize federal resources if you don't fall in line. This isn't the first time. First off, them coming and making this announcement of claiming that there's fraud or putting money on pause for all of this, it's old stuff that they've done from before, and they didn't provide any new evidence to withhold these new funds. Trump and his administration, it is well documented that this isn't the first time that they have threatened or actually withheld federal resources and funds from Minnesota and California. This is authoritarianism at its best. This is, him showing that when you oppose the government, it carries a material cost, and it's just a blatant threat and a total disregard for the people who need it. Medicaid has already taken a huge hit with the big, beautiful bill, and now here you are taking away aid from some of the most less fortunate people within these states who need it, and you don't care, because they're disposable to you. And it's punishment of the very politicians you don't like in our state and the fact that they won't bend the knee to you in every sort of way. Meanwhile, you're trying to incentivize other states to do the SAVE Act, and you got $10 billion that you're putting on the table for that. But fuck people's health care. Fuck people's just like everyday needs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that is interesting about this stuff to me, is that there hasn't been an American president in my lifetime, at least from what I can think about, that has weaponized human suffering to the degree that Donald Trump has. So when you look at Medicaid funds in Minnesota and California, we think about it in terms of dollars, right? But if you think about this in terms of people, and what people won't get.
Yep.
What the president is doing, and remember, he did the same thing when he refused to pay people's SNAP during the government shutdown. You shut the government down. Okay, well, I'm going to starve out the people, and then we're going to, leverage their immiseration against this in the middle of this political fight, which, most times in the past, people just wouldn't do it. There are things that you wouldn't touch, things you wouldn't bother, and stuff like that. But Donald Trump is willing to directly immiserate people in their fundamental needs in a way that I haven't seen. $1 billion in Medicaid funds is something that is existential to a lot of people in Minnesota and California, and there will be a cost. And this level of political warfare is the sharpest and most careless that I think that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about it?
Please tell me.
Another thing, not funny, but interesting. Another thing about the Colts book on Colts that I was reading, is that one tenet of Colts is the idea of benevolent punishment of religion, period. But it gets turned up in Colts, benevolent punishment. You're happy to be punished by your God.
Because you think that wins favor for you in the end.
That punishment is fellowship. That punishment is a part of your existence. And there are people who get fucked by Donald Trump and they like it. He's got a ball gag in so many different people's. Like if you were a war hawk, or if you were a neocon, Donald Trump bust your ass until he became one of you. Donald Trump, I don't know, I don't even have this fully fleshed out, but no president punishes their people like Donald Trump. And then to get them out of the feeling of being punished, he punishes somebody else. So you're walking around, your snap's fucked up, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with my snap. Like, I can't get my prescription drugs, whatever the fuck is going on, what's going on. But then you see somebody get hemmed up by ICE, and you go, oh, well, look, God's will is being done. So when I say this, like directly punishing people who need Medicaid, $1 billion, and those people are going to feel good that the golden shower is raining on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like the taste of the piss. They enjoy it.
Yeah, they bathe in it for sure.
Yeah, they like it. So, there are a couple people who have jumped off of the train and just think it's too much, but it's never. I don't know. He knows how to. He just knows how to get in there, and he's a president of punishment more than anyone else.
Yeah, yeah. For the less fortunate, and they just, I don't know. It's a cult. So, to the points you've made before, it's really like what can be done. Well, you broke it down. I don't know if it's the last podcast or the podcast before, that there's two different types of people in cults, but it's just so outright in your face. And I don't know if, maybe it's not though, Van, to bring it all the way back to the first topic that we were talking about, the conversation of people who are just detached and who can move through life without any kind of care. They don't even know that this stuff is going on. Like the people that I know that are like that, I'm guarantee you if I asked them about this stuff, they'd have no idea that they're withholding Medicaid aid to the very people that need it just to survive and be healthy, and have no idea that on the flip end, a bill just passed in the House so you're being punished for not bending the knee. But if you're loyal, you get we're going to give money to your state in grants if you adopt this SAVE Act voter ID style rule that's on the table. So now we don't have the money. You only get it if you're loyal to us and implement the things that we want. Otherwise, you die. It's literally what it is. You die.
Got the money.
And there are
paying
people
hundreds of millions of dollars for a ballroom.
And the list goes on and on and on. And I think a lot of it is to the first topic we were talking about. People just don't pay attention. They just don't care. They don't even know some of this stuff that is going on, even though it's happening right in their faces.
Kennedy, the feckless coward, says that if Gavin Newsom or Governor Walz wants this funding released, all they had to do was provide basic documentation showing that these services are legitimate and not fraudulent. They want to. But this is Minnesota and California. These are the two states that are the biggest sort of they're sticking in Trump's craw. They're a thorn in his side. This is what I was looking for. Minnesota directly rebelled. Minnesota didn't resist. Minnesota rebelled against ICE. And obviously California represents, at least for Donald Trump, the complete antithesis of his political project. Where's Gavin Newsom been? He's mad at us. He was very mad.
You bring that up. Was he? There was no reason to be mad. It was a fair conversation. There's no reason to be mad.
I don't think that Gavin Newsom will ever come back on Higher Learning because of the interesting thing. He's mad. He got back to me that he was mad.
That's fine.
I actually tried to reach out and like,
why?
Hey, whatever, because I want the governor back on. I want people back on. We're gonna ask the questions we have to fucking ask. We're asking the questions. I don't give a fuck. But he's mad. He was mad at Higher Learning. He was mad about the question, and so I haven't seen him around lately. I think that the Democrats are in a real conundrum with their presidential candidates.
Well, everybody's hot on Ossoff right now, so
it's very hot on him. But also, they're in the honeymoon stage with him.
They're in the honeymoon stage for sure.
Ossoff hasn't had to answer the real questions yet. He hasn't really done it. Like, Ossoff is being very smart in that, at least from what I'm seeing right now, he's doing a lot of talking to people, but not a lot of being talked to. Because what they're doing to the different candidates is, number one, they're sitting down and they're going straight up. How do you feel about the base of the Democratic Party moving away from Israel? And it doesn't really seem like a lot of candidates have compelling answers on the state of that relationship. They kind of boil it down to Benjamin Netanyahu, which is kind of seems to be the thing that's coming right from the DNC. Just Netanyahu, blame Netanyahu, blame Netanyahu. There's not a grander examination of the U.S.-Israeli relationship that's happening legitimately everywhere except in the Democratic power base. It's happening everywhere. And everyone's starting to do that. But a lot of these guys are still kind of feeling it out, kind of seeing what's there. Like, they float out their ideas and see how people respond to them. And then they go, psych, I don't really think that. You know what I mean? So I think over the next 6 months, probably, there's going to have to be a candidate, put that issue to the side, that's going to step up and have to give and have to give Americans actually something to vote for.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say 6 months after the midterms. Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, though. It's White Boy Day.
Oh.
Remember that?
White Boy Day?
White Boy Day.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, it's White Boy Day. Do you remember White Boy Day from what is that from? That was from Training Day, right? Training Day. It's White Boy Day.
Did you say that?
Did you say that? You thought it was White Boy Day?
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Not from Training Day.
You're probably right. Don't base it off of what I said.
I'm pretty sure that's in Training Day. Like, White Boy Day. It's White Boy Day in America right now. Oh no, excuse me. That's not Training Day. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. It's cool. That's True Romance. True Romance.
You know who got it first?
You thought it was White Boy Day.
Bernard.
Who?
Bernard.
Thank you, Bernard. My old brain. In True Romance, you thought it was White Boy Day. That's one of the craziest roles Gary Oldman said. But right now, in America right now, it's White Boy Day. It's never kind of not been, but it's more directly White Boy Day right now than it's ever been. It's White Boy Day at ESPN. It's White Boy Day at ESPN. Okay? It's White Boy Day with the Democrats. Like, I'm telling you, the Democrats going to run like Ron Howard for president. They're going to get the whitest white boy that they could get. They go like, the is White Boy Day. The Democrats going to go, this is going to be the whole Democratic field. they're going to go, hey, man, look, I need y'all to pick a white boy, man. Just pick a white boy. Let's go in here and let's get this. We got a young white boy that's up and coming. We got an older white boy that's been around with some smut on his name. We got a white boy that you can relate to. And we got a white boy that's going to that's destabilizing. But what you will do is pick a white boy. It's white boy day. I mean, we talked about the Tallarico thing. That's white boy day. It is.
Yeah.
White boy. It's white boy day for the Democrats, man.
Well, yeah,
you don't think
for sure.
so?
Of course it is. And they'll say, we tried.
Yeah.
It didn't work. We're going back to what we know.
Yeah, man. We tried nigga night.
It did not work. We going back.
Y'all didn't come to nigga night, okay? We sold tickets to nigga night, and nobody showed up, all right? We sold tickets to nigga night. We tried to do nigga night. We tried to do mini nigga nights, and nobody came. So now that the nigga night didn't work, y'all not trying to listen to the Spinners. We put Rubber Band Man on for y'all. Y'all didn't like the record, right? You like, that's a great record. Rubber Band Man.
The Spinners are so great,
control
though.
when the rubber band starts to jam. When you at a real black party, so y'all think y'all at a black party because they playing Future, Freak Hoes, and all of that stuff. When you at a real black party, they playing the Spinners at that bitch.
Yeah.
They playing Kool and the Gang at that bitch. That's a, they playing Tevin Campbell.
They're playing Tevin Campbell. They're playing,
They're playing Tevin Campbell.
They're playing Frankie
Alexander
Beverly.
O'Neal.
Alexander O'Neal, Frankie Beverly, Ohio players.
Frankie
like, this
Beverly,
is the kind of
the
thing
Ohio
we're getting.
players. That's real. When you at a real black party, that's what they playing. When you at a real black party, you're going to hear records that you haven't heard in a long time. You're going to hear I Saw You and Him. Walking in the Rain by Orange Juice Jones. You remember that record, Rachel? I saw you and him.
No.
Walking in the rain.
I don't know.
You was holding hands and I'll never be the same. Let me talk about that record. At the end of that record, one of the funniest things happened. Donnie know that record. Donnie, you know that record? I Saw You and Him.
I followed you today.
In the rain. You was holding hands and I'll never be the same. My favorite part of the Orange Juice Jones Walking in the Rain record is at the end, because the Juice Man has been waiting for his woman who was cheating on him for this whole record. Mm-hmm. He's seen her out and stuff like that. And then she comes home and then he lays the law down. He's like, oh, no, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. Them credit cards, yeah, I cut all them things up. Remember that mink I bought you? That mink? I threw that in the trash. Orange Juice Jones gets his revenge at the end of Walking in the Rain. And I used to love watching that. I don't know if the Juice Man is still around, if he's still with us, but that's a black ass record right there. Like, you in there with your family and everybody, like, they old and everybody got a different take. For some reason,
is
the women
still
are
alive,
mad.
by the way.
Orange Juice, man, get a shout out. You know what? We don't talk about him. Donnie, you like that record?
I do, and you're right. That's the best part. He's stalking her, which is problematic. But he's
Donnie,
like,
come on,
I
dog.
missed you.
See what I'm
Thank
saying?
you, Donnie.
Donnie, is that stalking? Is what Orange Juice Jones was doing?
It sounds like
He
he knew her
says,
every move.
I missed you. I missed you so much that I followed you today. That is creepy.
Thank you, Donnie.
Okay, so look though.
Let me look at these lyrics.
Okay.
Let me look at these lyrics.
So wait a second though. He does say that. Donnie, see, Donnie knows these records. Okay, so look, he says, I miss you so much that I followed you today, but he's not stalking her per se. He's following her to get evidence that she's holding hands and he will never be the same. He has to see if it's real. Does that count as stalking?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe not.
I'm asking. I'm like,
He's
I really
following
don't know.
up. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. These are. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are these some of the lyrics? Wait a minute. Am I looking at the same song?
It's Orange Juice Jones.
Surely that could not have been correct, because what I just saw was, and my first. Hold on, it keeps going away.
Yes. Was the cold bust you in your mouth or something? His first instinct was to slap you in the face.
Was to run up on you and do a Rambo, whip out the jammy, and flat blast both of you.
Okay, but he didn't want to mess up his 37.
But he didn't want to mess up his Lynx coat.
Okay, well look,
this is a pimp.
I get it.
I'm starting to rethink this. I think he might have been her pimp.
Oh, man, see, look, now we doing this.
And it sounds like he was losing some money over the situation. He said,
I was talking about
"That's right. Now close your mouth because you cold busted." Listen how he talks to her. Sit down here. I'm so upset with you.
It's 1980 fucking 4.
You know what this?
When did this record come out?
Donnie, what was the clip that?
It's 1986.
86. Donnie, what was the clip that Van made us watch that time? Where it's got, oh gosh, I love him so much as an actor. What is his name? Glenn. Glenn's in it, and he's possessed.
Yeah.
And Van made us watch it. This is right up here with that.
Dog. Yeah. JD's revenge.
JD's revenge. This is right up here with it.
Yeah, I fucked your woman.
Listen to the control he has over her. I went to the bank.
Hold on, wait a second.
I canceled the credit cards. I stuck you up for every piece of jewelry I ever bought. This feels like a pimpo situation.
It does, but you know what's the funny thing about that? The funny thing about what you're saying is if the roles were reversed, because I bet you, do you have a problem with the song "Hit 'Em Up Style" by
Hey ladies, if your man
want to get buck wild,
just go back and hit 'em up style. I never really paid attention to all the lyrics.
Okay, so what happens in the record is obviously she finds out he's doing something wrong, then she go run up all his credit cards. It's the inverse of Orange Juice Jones. Is the different thing, right? And if the woman was in this situation was taking care of the man, if the woman was taking care of the man and was doing all of this stuff for him, and then he was holding hands with somebody else and she will never be the same, you don't think that she'll cut all his credit cards off and do all of that stuff? Would you be against that? If somebody was taking care of somebody else and like Orange Juice Jones, you wouldn't be against that? That's too much?
I'm sorry. Because I'm reading further lyrics and I can't stop laughing.
Hey, you got to get out of here with that alley cat coat wearing, hush puppy shoe wearing.
That's where I am.
Saw you with.
That's right.
Miss. That's right, silly rabbit. Tricks are made for kids. Don't you know that? You without me like cornflake without the milk. It's my world. You just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Now get out of here and don't touch that coat. That's Orange Juice Jones, man. That's the juice.
This is hilarious. I don't know if it's quite the same. I got to listen to it, but I am unfamiliar with this.
You heard it before. Donnie, why do you know it? Because you're even younger than Rach.
My music taste, I've said this several times on the podcast, is older. I have an uncle and auntie taste. The list that we were going through before is my playlist. Like, it's very cookout, barbecue, fish fry friendly.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like it too, but this one I did not know.
This is what Orange Juice Jones said. Use with the juice. I gave you silk suits, Gucci handbags, blue diamonds. I gave you things you couldn't even pronounce. Now I can't give you nothing but advice because you're still young. That's right. You're still young. I hope you got a valuable lesson from this. You know, one day gonna find somebody like me one of these days. Until then, you know what you're gonna do? Get your ass out of here with that alley cat coat wearing, hush puppy shoe wearing, crumb cake I saw you with. He's give her advice. Anyway,
the cover art for this has him standing over her. She's sitting at his feet. He's over her with his fur coat, looking at the camera, and she's looking at him.
Yeah, it's the Juice Man, okay? It's Orange Juice Jones. It's a different time. It's 1986. But my point is that if you had a real black, if you had some truly black, that's the type of shit
that they would play.
That you're going to hear. I can never remember the name. You know what? What is it called? Whatever, man. These are the records that you're going to hear if you had a real, and that the Spinners is one of them. But the problem is we're not going to hit them records no more.
Because
we have officially gone, it's White Boy Day, okay? we have officially gone from nigga night where you're going to hear the Spinners. Now, you going to the and Kid Rock going to be playing at that bitch. Or Maroon 5. What songs play at White Boy Day?
I was thinking Journey, Neil Diamond.
Oh,
yeah,
Donnie,
those are the ones. Bruce Springsteen.
Neil Diamond.
You said Journey, right, Donnie? Journey. Yeah, these are the
Yeah, I was tripping. That stuff not gonna play at White Boy Day. That stuff is gonna play at
Bon
fucking Cracker
Jovi.
Day.
Yeah, these are
But
yeah.
so Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, because what's gonna happen? They're gonna play Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA at White Boy Day, and then somebody's gonna lean over to you because they like to talk to you like you're fucking stupid. So they're gonna say, "Hey, I don't know if you know, but this is a protest song. This is actually not a patriotic song. Like Born in the USA, I want you to let know this is a protest song." You're gonna be like, "Yeah, I know that. I've listened to the lyrics of the song. Get the fuck out of my face. Get out of here. I know it's White Boy Day and I have to be here because the Democrats are doing White Boy Day. Right? But I don't need you to explain Born in the USA to me today here on White Boy Day. It's White Boy Day. Let's just pick a white boy and move on with it." That's what they're gonna ask you to do. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have to have a conversation. I need to get on the phone with Mandela Barnes pretty soon. Because I let y'all know, y'all say whatever y'all want. I'm talking to all the non-white boys and see if there's any way to get around this. I'm talking to all of the non-white boys. I want to shout some people out. Garland Gilchrist, Mandela Barnes, Michael Tubbs, Corey Bush, Jamal Bowman, Summer Lee. It's a lot of people out there that, are still in these situations, but it's tough. Maxwell Frost, it seemed like it's White Boy Day. Last thing I'll say about it. I can't believe you tried to besmirch the juice like that. You tried to woke scold the juice.
We just uncovered something, and honestly, Donnie led the way.
Tossing and turning, another sleepless night. The rain crashes against my window pane. Boy.
Wow.
Boy, the 80s was on fire. Damn, the producers on this record. Donnie, look at the producers on this record.
Who produced?
Look at the producers on this song real quick. On the Orange Juice Jones record. Look at the producers. Look who produced it.
Where are the producers? Why don't I see it?
Russell Simmons.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Let's go to the next topic. Say less. What an indictment.
All right, we're sticking to politics. The House adopted a GOP-backed budget blueprint on Wednesday that will provide up to $95 billion in funding for the Iran war, aid to farmers, and parts of Trump's voting regulations bill known as the Save America Act. House Speaker Mike Johnson called it the GOP's best shot to enact as much of the Save America Act into law as possible.
Okay, so just so people know, the things that they seem to have made that are in the Save America Act that are in here are a national voter ID requirement, which is stricter than most existing state laws, proof of citizenship requirements for new and updated voter registrations. Driver's licenses alone won't suffice. Voters would need a passport or birth certificate. Mandatory frequent voter list purges, and a requirement that states hand their voter rolls over to DHS for cross-checking against its database. Okay. There are a lot of states, honestly, a lot of red states that are in a deep disagreement about handing their voter rolls over to the federal government. The Congress has tried this before. The standalone Voter ID Act into a separate bill on congressional stock trading. So they're trying to put the bill in something else that they feel like people will vote for. So some of those provisions are actually, the Save America Act seems like it's being Frankensteined politically. They can't get the entire package across the finish line because it puts the Senate Republicans in too much of a catch-all where they have to get rid of the filibuster for it. So essentially, the administration seems to be trying to do is to Frankenstein different parts of this bill through different vehicles, all in time to directly influence and hamstring the midterm elections.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the mail-in voter part of the Save America Act. So that's one part that they took out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get away with this because obviously they're trying to do it under a reconciliation thing so that they can not have the 60 votes, but they're kind of smuggling in election law and attaching that to a budget, which is what I referred to earlier with incentivizing states by saying, hey, there's a $10 billion budget to give grants for you if you do these things. And they're trying to tack on something that has to not do with a budget at all, but they're doing the $10 billion to try to like circumvent it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is actually going to work and is going to like pass the them being able to do 50 votes instead, or a majority vote instead of 60 votes. And there's talk that they might not even have the majority vote because there are certain Republican senators who still do not want any part of the SAVE Act to move forward. So I don't think this is going to be successful, but man, again, it just shows, one, how relentless they are in following their cult leader to get across the things that they want. Two, it shows still how much money they're willing to spend and throw at the things that Trump wants, but not throw money towards supporting you in an economy that's where so many people are suffering. And then three, just, I mean, what we've always said about like how they continue to do things to take away your voting rights. And this is just another thing on the table. And they're more concerned with this than they are concerned with you, which is just a running theme of pretty much everything that we talk about when it comes to this administration. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. Three, man, it shows how creative they are. They are so creative in the ways that they will come up with things in order to circumvent a rule, a law, and pass things in Trump's favor in ways that I just don't see the Democrats doing. When they're creative.
Because it's existential. They're fighting for their lives. I think that's in order for me to, I would almost have to be certain. Like, because I could give the Democrats credit for stuff like, Biden tried to get student loan forgiveness passed, couldn't get it passed, had to do it a different way. I guess I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I would have to look more deeply into things that they wanted, things that they tried to do in different ways, and if they put pieces of a bill and other. I'm sure that's happened.
I'm sure they have, but
things.
I'm not as well versed in it either.
Yeah. I'd have to kind of look into that. But what I will say to your point is that the reason why they're being so aggressive about this is it's existential. Mm-hmm. I think, or at least they feel like it is, mm-hmm. right? So, right, because in the midterms, the Trump administration is fighting MAGA is, no matter what people think, I know it's so difficult for people to like admit when they've experienced a win. Like MAGA is kind of on the ropes right now. This war is really, really testing the limits of what the coalition will put up for. Now, the diehard MAGites, the ones that are in that just unbreakable 33 to 34%, right? They're not going anywhere, and we all know that, right? It's something that they believe in Trump in a different way. But the coalition that exists right outside of that is being stressed. The president is very unpopular. The economy is slow, if not in the dirt, right? If not for China doing some really creative things with their oil consumption, we'd almost probably right now be in an oil Armageddon, which is probably still going to happen the longer the war drags out. It seems as if we're getting to a point to the only thing that is feasible for the Trump administration to pull a victory out of the war, if they want the strait to be secured, is to go in with ground troops. And once that happens, it is going to be a fuck stick situation for them. I do not see how Americans reconcile ground troops on Karl Island or along the coast or any of that stuff, right? I don't see how that happens, but who knows? What the fuck do I know? All of that to say that the Trump administration has got to win the midterms, or the political experiment of MAGA is dead. If they don't fix the election in the fall, MAGA dies. It doesn't die as something that we have to contend with. It doesn't die as something that allows people to kind of contextualize their political beliefs and find community in it. There'll still be people that do that. But as far as a power-wielding political organization, MAGA dies in the fall if they lose the elections. It's over. President Trump will be politically neutered. Everything after that will be just window dressing. And once it loses that race, Once that happens, you'll see people scurry. Like it's going to be a real interesting couple of years for J.D. Vance. Would not be surprised that if the election is lost in September, if J.D. Vance doesn't resign. Because if he wants to have a political future, not immediately, but at some point after that, if J.D. Vance wants to have a political future, he's going to have a really incredible dance to do with his support of this war, how he really feels about Israel. I watched him on Joe Rogan, and he can't say anything. He can't talk about anything. Like, he was so happy when Joe was talking about like how the left is kooky and how California sucks and how San Francisco sucks. It legitimately felt like when they were having those conversations, J.D. Vance was like, okay, this is what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. Fuck, man. Yeah. Gavin Newsom sucks. LA sucks. San Diego, San Francisco, these places. He didn't say it about San Diego, but these places are like fucking holes in the earth. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. But when Epstein came up, when Israel came up, when Iran came up, when all of these things came up, he was deeply, visibly uncomfortable with having to talk about that stuff. And it seems like he was negotiating his own political future because the last guy that was in his situation almost got hung. Mm. And so he doesn't want to be in that. But I say all that to say that existential battle that I saw J.D. Vance having, a lot of people are going to have it after the midterms in the fall. And it'll be interested to see what people do when the coattails of the president aren't quite what they used to be. So they're going to fight, though. They're going to fight tooth and nail. They're going to fight. It's existential. It's like the center of the Democratic Party is going to fight against the left of the Democratic Party because that fight is existential in a way that's not even against MAGA. One thing before we go.
Former Denver Nuggets head coach has responded to this clip that's going viral of J.R. Smith from last year. He was on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast and spoke about what he saw in George Karl's office. Let's hear from JR first.
This man had a book in his office called Niggas.
What?
With the ER.
What? Like on the shit for you to sit, like you sit down and the shit is.
I'm like, man, that's tough, shorty. Like,
what? You know that's a big time book. I know the book. That's a big time book.
I never read it. I don't know about it. I didn't even look it. I didn't look it up. I was just like,
he just had it on display when he walked in the office.
But this was
little shit that was.
That's wild.
Nah, it was. That's a psyop, champ. Right. Not even crazy. Part of the other books. It was just by itself.
I mean, see, I switched. I wasn't gonna take it this.
That's crazy. That's a little crazy. That's a little crazy.
But think about this though, and this is not. Whatever it is, the situation. This was 20-some years, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
so you walk into an office of a particular person, a white man, right? Young, 20, 21, 22. I know me. I knew my history a little bit. I knew what happened. I never was. In my neighborhood, it wasn't that. It was black and white. You knew black, you knew white. It wasn't that racism shit. We ain't really see that, me personally, growing up. So I know my history, though. So, but to see that, I ain't no fool, nigga. That book don't sit right in this room right here. Come on. I don't know what that book right there don't sit right. And now reading the book years later is like, holy shit. How the fuck you had, like, I want to know the mentality behind that, because it's two different mentalities. It's two different perspectives you can have on that, having that book and reading that book as you in that position, as you of who you are.
And with your experience with them.
You can have two experiences from reading this book. This can even make you matter and like go left, or it can give you a whole understanding on how to deal with niggas. That's the name of the book.
This is a fascinating situation to me.
I think what makes it more fascinating is George Karl's response to the clip.
Which was?
He tweeted.
Go
ahead. Sorry, Donnie. No, Donnie, you got it.
He tweeted, "It's a good and important book by Professor Randall Kelly that everyone should read, including J.R. Smith."
And he added him. He added J.R. Smith, by the way.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's unpack this. I have not read this book. I did read Race, Crime, and Law, though. Okay. I have not read this book, though. I haven't read this book. You know what? When books have titles like that, I typically get like scared away. I haven't read a lot of books with like subversive titles like that. You know, I have not read that book. Okay. So I don't know. I don't think that the book, seemingly what it's about, being on somebody's shelf, is indicative of anything. And I don't know how I feel about any of this. The one thing that I'm wondering, though, is when they saw the book, did anybody ask him what the book was?
That makes a difference to you.
Well, I would wonder why you didn't.
So, sure. But
like he has the book, right? Did anyone when they're sitting there in front of him, and this is kind of the thing that I would take away from this. JR's a great man. He's a legitimately great guy. But what I would wonder with this is, if you find yourself in that position and you see that book on the shelf, what should happen there is, what is that?
Okay.
And then what's that right there? Like, get that. Like, get that book off the shelf. Get that book off the shelf, and then have a conversation about the book to contextualize why a book with that type of title would be on the shelf of a coach that has a deal with Black players. Number two, what the book is about. Like, deepen your understanding of that situation. First of all, just the reaction should be, if you see that, just to ask about it. And I wonder if anybody did.
Okay. So I think this is extremely problematic. And that is how you would handle the situation. That's how I would handle the situation. I would also describe us as confrontational people. If I'm a young player, or I'm a player trying to make this team, or my
not good enough.
Not everybody handles situations the way you would. And to walk into your coach's office and to see a book, because when you see it, it's jarring. It just says nigger on it. And so if you walk into a white man, your coach, somebody who has authority over you, and you see it, I would like to think that everyone would say, what is this? But some people might not, might feel intimidated, might feel scared, might already assume something when they see it. It is a huge statement to have he didn't have his whole book library up there. He chose the books he wanted to put up there. It is a statement.
Wait, hold on. What do you know about the bookcase?
I would imagine it's not his whole library. Regardless if it was, you chose to put the book up there, and it was noticeable enough. So it's not like it was drowning in a sea of 100 books. It was noticeable enough to where players saw it when they walked in. It's a statement for you to choose to put that book, when you have majority of Black players, and I'm sure coaching staff too, on your shelf. What's the statement that you're trying to make? I have the book. I purposely put the book out because I want somebody to say something about it. George Karl's a white man with a book on his shelf that says nigger, and you don't know if people have read the book, have any understanding. They just see a book that says nigger on your bookshelf. That is so problematic. And then his tweet is even more dismissive, because my question is, did you read the book? Did you read the book? How can you go through reading the book that talks about law and literature and history and reclaiming this word and the ongoing debate on whether or not we should use it, as a white man, and read that whole book and then put it on your bookshelf for Black men or women to come into your office and be subjected to that and not have an explanation? It's one thing if you own the book and you read it and you're having a discussion and you're like, hey, I read this book. But without any context, and it just sitting up there, and I'm in your office and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see nigger. I mean, come on.
Okay.
That is
Let me ask you a question.
so.
What is the book? What's the book about?
I just told you. It's like, it's written by a black man. It's a Harvard, he's a Harvard law professor, and he's like tracing the word's history. He's tracing the word's history through, it's like through law and through literature and culture and like how it's been used throughout society. And, you know, it's like the ongoing debate of like, should we use it? Should we not? And like reclaiming the word and shit, like how you feel about it. It doesn't matter. It's, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Is it a book that white people should read?
Yeah.
Then I have no problem with it being
I didn't say he shouldn't. Okay. All right.
No, we can have a difference of opinion on this.
You might as well I honestly see no difference in that than you having a framed poster with the word nigger on it and be like, well, I read this book. Here it is as well. Like, it's just.
That's good. The difference is that the difference is to me that the frame poster, there's nothing behind it.
Without any context. Like, I know you would ask. I would ask too. But not everybody is like that. To be in a white man's office and to see nigger sitting behind him is jarring.
I'm not saying it's not.
And he knows it. And he knows it.
Can we go back? Okay, cool. Can we
so
go
without
back?
Any context, it's problematic.
Okay. So this is the deal. Let's go back. I'll ask one question. Is the book a book that white people should read?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the book is, so just so we know, the book in and of itself is a book that, because I haven't read it, the book in and of itself is a book that like white people should read.
Yeah.
Because why is the book a book that white people should read?
Because it's about the history of it. When you have so many people who say, well, you use it, why can't I? Well, this person sings it in this song and says it, why can't I? Well, this black person doesn't have a problem with it. Well, so why, why is it a problem if I say it? Or I grew up in this, like, it gives you historical context, which I always think is important when there's something that's rooted in history.
So then owning the book in and of itself
not a problem.
Is not offensive.
I don't think so.
But displaying the book is.
Without context, as a white person is. Like, I don't think it's wrong for me to have it on my shelf.
Okay, we have hit my fundamental issue that I'm running into everywhere right now. So when you say, let's say that you sing the N-word in a rap song that you buy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you sing the N-word in a rap song that you buy, right, then you are like performing the N-word. You're performing it, right? So when you perform the N-word, you are doing two things. You're co-opting a culture that has adopted the word for self-preservation. You're also saying a word that has you're crossing a social line. Those two things, that's a double whammy to me of inappropriate, right? Number one, crossing a social line, a clear social line, breaking what to me is a cultural truce that you don't say this word is one thing. Another thing is you kind of trying to be a nigga by getting into it like that. That appropriation is problematic to me, right? If the book itself is a book that is edifying to the history of the word, if you are better white folk or better whoever because you've read the book, then to me, owning the book and putting it on your shelf, whatever. Now, if it was a whole bookshelf with one book and it was nigger, I'd be like, what's the deal?
Well, we don't know. That was asked and nobody said anything. They was like,
well, I don't know. These are the things.
How about it stood out enough? However it is on the shelf, it stood out. So it was out.
And to me, my thing is this. If you have enough of a problem, once again, not about JR. I'm saying this, guys. I know JR Smith. I like JR Smith. Not about JR, not about Mello, not about anybody. If you have enough of a problem with the book, I know you 21. I know that you're young. If you have enough of a problem with the book that is up there, that somebody owns it, you have to investigate like what the book is in the moment.
Man.
At some point, he played for the Nuggets for a while. And even more than that, if the book is written by a black man, the book is expressing the nuances and the realities, to your point, I haven't read it, of the culture of that word. If the book makes you better, why should you be ashamed of owning it?
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. See, the display, it's not about owning it. Okay, yeah, sorry, less. It's not about owning it. It's the display of it, and it's how comfortable you are with the display of it that bothers me. That is what I can't get past. I don't have a problem with you owning it. I don't have a problem with you reading it. If I walk into your office and I just see this, I don't know if the book was out like this. I don't know if the book was like this. Because this has a subtitle, right? This doesn't.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at your bookshelf and I see this, you comfortable with the word nigger just floating around your office. There's not context behind it. I'm telling you what's in the pages of the book.
The context is in the pages of the book.
Again, but I don't see the Van. We'll just agree to disagree. I understand what's inside the book. I'm talking about the display of the word and how comfortable you are with it. Reading the book should not make you comfortable with displaying nigger in your office when your majority black people are around you. Even if white people are around you, it shouldn't be okay. It's written like this for shock value.
Right.
For shock value.
No.
So who are you shocking? So even if you're right, you should ask the question, why should it be on the person who sees a word that they find offensive to then investigate why you got nigger on display as a white man?
Because that's what it is. Because there's two different ways to look at this. I'll tell you what I think. One is, this book is written by a black man who's investigating the history of the word, right? Like, now, if to me, the more interesting question is if, not the more interesting question. The question I guess I would be more interested in is if George Karl says, hey, I got a book for you to read. It's called Nigger. Like, the actual performance of the word, I would be like, I don't give a fuck what it's called. You know that you're not trying to say that, right? That you shouldn't say that to me. I actually don't in any way understand how can I put this? When I say that this is like my actual issue, this is a fundamental thing, and I'm blabbering a little bit because I'm trying to make sure all the appropriate sensitivities are in what I'm about to say. This is just pussy. The book itself, like the book itself, is written by a black man to investigate the entire history of a word. You're saying it, and it is supposed to be an edifying piece of material to deconstruct some things based upon what you're saying. It is a book that white people should read.
I don't think it's deconstruction in the sense. It's about the history. It's about racism, though.
Right. The book is about racism. But okay, I haven't read it, but it's a book that white people should read, right? So if you read the book and you put it up there and there's nothing inside of the book that in and of itself is a problem, right? If the problem with the book is the title and somebody has a problem with the book, then the actual way to get to an understanding in a situation where you see that book is to investigate it. And what I always want is an actual understanding. What I always want is, in any situation, to get smarter. I want, like, and so to me, if that book is something that is actually achieving that, and it's a black man who wrote the book for a reason, a black man who I would assume would want all different types of people to write and understand the book, then the simple fact of owning it and displaying it, like, to me, there can't be anything like nefarious about that.
Man, the reason the book has value is so, and I say white people should read it, is because I don't think you can walk away from reading the book without understanding why the word is highly offensive. It's not to make, I don't know how as a white person you could finish it and say, wow, that I understand it now and I'm just more comfortable. No, you should not feel comfortable with this word. And Let me just throw this out there too. We don't know if he read that book. We just know it's on display. We're assuming it. Did the tweet say?
Yeah,
he said it's a good and important book. That don't mean he read it.
Right. So look, if he didn't read it, then all of this is different. But that's assuming an intent and a scenario that doesn't seem to really be backed up by very much reality.
No, it's just even making space for it.
Even based on the fact that he said it's a good and important book, I would assume that he read the book. Like, I don't even have an opinion on George fucking Karl, other than the fact that his teams could never get over the hump. I don't have an opinion on George Karl.
Maybe
what I would say is, honestly, I would actually, if I'm to play this out to the nth degree, I think it's actually probably a really positive thing that he read that book if he is going to be around a bunch of black players that are going to use that word all the time. If that book sets any type of construction or any type of limit or deepens any type of understanding of that, being that he's going to be around that so much, it actually probably is like almost a feather in the cap of George Karl that he would have read it and owned it. Now, if you're telling me that you can read it and you can own it, but you can't have it as part of your bookshelf because black people are going to be around, I'm going to probably tell, like, I wouldn't tell this to you, but I would probably be like, if somebody told me that, let's say we were somebody else, I wasn't talking to you. Somebody told me that, I'd be like, grow up. Because this is like, I would say that because this is kind of the thing, just have the conversation or don't have the conversation. But what happens is now, 15, 20 years later, the thing that you've internalized and not investigated at all becomes your reality. Now you don't know why he had it. Now you don't know anything. And now you're just talking about it and putting everything together.
And the burden, then it shifts to the person who becomes offended. All I'll say is
so you hold on. Let me before I finish this,
if you read the book, then you understand the sensitivities and still how highly offensive the word is. So when somebody sees it, that's what they feel. I hope he read the book. It doesn't make sense to me that he would have. It'd be different if, and maybe they left this out. I don't think they left this out. They would have said it. It'd be different if he had the book on display, and somebody comes in. It's like, oh, by the way, this is I read this book. Blah 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 blah. You get everything you need. But that's not what it sounds like is happening. So it just to me feels like a contradiction based on what the book is about. But maybe he had a different interpretation.
Let me ask you a question. Last question. Does an offended person have any responsibility?
Yeah, I think, but it's a matter of the weight of the responsibility. There's some responsibility, absolutely.
Okay, say more.
I think an offended person has a responsibility, but I think it is the person who is offending them who has more responsibility.
Okay, so do you think? So in that regard, so then you have more responsibility if you're offending someone, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have responsibility to alert somebody that you're offended? Or can you just so listen? Can you just be offended by something? So can you just you be offended by something? You take that offense, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I asked this, because I do think that. I think if it's so offensive to you, be like, hey, in the moment, boom, not gonna work. Now I am of a different disposition, and I understand what you're saying.
I'm with you.
Right. So what I'm saying is,
a lot of people aren't like that.
But in that situation, what I don't like though. What I don't like and what I'm directly railing against in all situations is leaving a situation like that and then making up the story for yourself. Because if you did not do the work in the moment to get to the bottom of it, then to me, making up a story for yourself about why that might exist, to me is the warm blanket of sort of dissonance that we are lying under. I use the term dissonance slightly incorrectly just because I don't want to say anything that's more indicting, because I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's the warm blanket of dissonance that we are allowing ourselves to live in so that we can continue to silo ourselves and not have to actually do the work to understand. And that's the only thing I'm saying. Yeah, that's an offensive word. And the reason why the book was written about it is because it's an offensive word and also a word that is charged with hundreds of years of history. If the book is actually something that's edifying for a white person to read, then number one, you want to read it. You want to promote that you've read it so that other people read it if they should. Now, if you got black guys that are walking into the office and they have a problem with the book, what I would say is then and now, make your problems with the book known so you can understand deeper the man that's sitting in front of you that you have to work with, A, and then deeper, like what's in that book. Because maybe you read it and then you get something from it. But if we shy away or run for the hills for everything that is the least bit uncomfortable, I just think that there's a cost. And not only do I think that there's a cost, I know that there's a cost, and we're paying that cost every single day with the things that we don't say. And so, if this book was like nigger, and then in the book made some different case on why white people should be able to say the word nigger, or how you dress your nigger, or how you get your nigger ready for work on the plantation, that's one thing. But if it's a book about the troubled history of the word, now I'm gonna read it and all of that stuff. I just don't see. I guess I don't see the problem.
Okay.
Like I don't see the issue.
Okay.
But
we definitely disagree.
Yeah, we definitely agree to disagree. Now, the book was prominently featured in the episode of Boston Public in which a white teacher played by Michael Rappaport. God damn it!
Always.
Attempted to employ the book to teach his students about the history and controversy surrounding the word. Never read this, but I guess I should have. The only reason why I read the other ones is because Jabril made me. Okay. It's a very funny story behind that, but we don't have time. All right, so George Karl, racist.
No, see, that's not even close to what I'm saying. That's what I want.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm not going to say he's racist. I just think it's insensitive. But I'm not going to go. I don't want to keep going back and forth. It's the same argument.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Cool.
I think it's insensitive, though.
All right, we're out of here. Insensitive. Mm-hmm. Insensitive. I get it. All right. What I will tell you is the response was insensitive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the response was, it's a good, important book by Professor Randall Kennedy that everyone should read, including At the Real J.R. Smith. I think you got to be better than that. Yeah. But at this point, it seems like there's something between
Sounds like
JR
a person who puts nigger on their shelf. That's what that sounds like. Sounds like a person who did not get the book, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, just to me, some shit about it. But, I wouldn't have personalized this as much, but the first part of the message is good and important book by Professor Randall Kennedy that everyone should read. I don't really have a problem with anybody owning or displaying the book, but I get what you're saying. But, come on, guys. Let's get ready for it. Let's get ready for the fight. That's it. You have anything that you want me to do, like at Comic-Con? So I'm here.
No. I wanted you. Side note: I need to go to the bathroom. I wanted you to wear a costume. You didn't do it this year. We'll work on it next year in addition to LoveCon.
Okay, LoveCon.
That's what we call Love at the Con. Love at the Con.
Love at the Con. I also want to come to BravoCon too.
You would have a blast.
I'll dress up like the Grand Dame.
You'd have a blast and you would be a hit. Yeah.
I can't wait. All right. We got to go. We all have to use the bathroom, including Donnie. Shout out to Orange Juice Jones. Shout out to Randall Kennedy. Shout out to everybody out there. Take your think caps off, but do not stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel Lynn Lindsay. Bye, guys.